welcome. It is great to see so many people out tonight to celebrate the swearing in of a number of people. And we're all thankful that you're here. Thank you again to the Cabarrus Arena and Event Center for the food. I also like to thank the county staff who's worked very hard to get everything set up for us tonight, and they always make things so nice for us, and they make those of us in office look really good. So thank you to Mike Downs and all the staff for all your hard work. We're going to start tonight with the swearing in for the Soil and Water Conservation District Supervisors. So I would like to ask the Honorable Christy Wilhelm to please come up. We're happy to have her here. And if we can get the Soil and Water District members to come up, Jeff Goforth, Vicki Porter, Lewis Souther. And we're going to start with Jeff.
If you would please hold the Bible with your left hand. If you would please, I'm going to read through the entire oath. If you would supply your name, and at the end of the oath, please say, "I will."
Okay.
I,
Jeff Goforth,
do solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as Cabarrus Soil and Water Conservation District Supervisor, so help me God. I,
Jeff Goforth,
do solemnly and sincerely swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God. I,
Jeff Goforth,
do swear that I will well and truly execute the duties of the office of Cabarrus Soil and Water Conservation District Supervisor, according to the best of my skill and ability, according to law, so help me God.
I will.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations. Next, Ms. Porter. You have your own Bible?
I do.
You can hold that. If you would, please place your right hand on top of the Bible. The same thing, I'm going to ask you to supply your name. I,
Victoria Porter,
do solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as Cabarrus Soil and Water Conservation District Supervisor, so help me God. I,
Victoria Porter,
do solemnly and sincerely swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God. I,
Victoria Porter,
do swear that I will well and truly execute the duties of the office of Cabarrus Soil and Water Conservation District Supervisor according to the best of my skill and ability, according to law, so help me God.
I will.
Congratulations, Ms. Porter. Mr. Souther? I,
Lewis Souther,
do solemnly swear that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as Cabarrus Soil and Water Conservation District Supervisor, so help me God. I,
Lewis Souther,
do solemnly and sincerely swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God. I,
Lewis Souther,
do swear that I will well and truly execute the duties of the office of Cabarrus Soil and Water Conservation District Supervisor according to the best of my skill and ability, according to law, so help me God. Congratulations, Mr. Smith. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, and for all three of you, I need to get you to, if you will come over to this table, we need to get you to sign your oaths, please, to make it official. Those right there? Yeah. You learn when you're here at the county, there's these special blue pens, and anything that you sign has to be signed in a special blue pen so that they can tell it's your original signature. So we'll get everybody to sign there. Now we're happy to do the swearing in for our incoming commissioners. So I would like to ask Diane Honeycutt, Grace Minot, and Lynn Shue to please come forward. And if you have family members with you that you want to come up, please have them come up also. And we will begin with Diane. Okay?
I will do so. Ms. Honeycutt? Here you go. I
Diane Honeycutt,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I
Diane Honeycutt,
do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina
to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers
and to the constitutional powers
and authorities which are
and authorities which are
or may be established for the government thereof,
or may be established for the government thereof,
and that I will endeavor to support,
and that I will endeavor to support,
maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state,
maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent with the Constitution
not inconsistent with the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I
Diane Honeycutt,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and maintain
that I will support and maintain
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and the laws of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina,
and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of my office as Cabarrus County Commissioner,
of my office as Cabarrus County Commissioner,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Just sign one.
There's always paperwork involved when there's a judge around. I'm sorry, y'all.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. I'll sign these in just a moment. Ms. Minot? You have your Bible. You can hold on to that. Or you want to hold the Bible? Raise your right hand, please. Repeat after me. I
I, Grace Minor,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States.
so help me God.
So help me God.
I
I, Grace Minor,
do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina
and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers
and to the constitutional powers
and authorities which are
and authorities which are
or may be established
or may be established
for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
and that I will endeavor to support,
and that I will endeavor to support,
maintain, and defend
maintain, and defend
the Constitution of said state,
the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent
not inconsistent
with the Constitution of the United
with
States,
the Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I
I, Grace Minot,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and maintain the Constitution
that I will support and maintain the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
and laws of North Carolina,
and laws of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as Cabarrus County Commissioner.
as Cabarrus County Commissioner.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
How many copies?
Thank you, Miss, one in the middle.
I taught handwriting. I got to do it pretty.
One in the middle. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Shue? Will you please place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right. Repeat after me, please. I
I, Lynn Shue,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I
I, Lynn Shue,
do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly, sincerely swear
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina
to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers
and to the constitutional powers
and authorities which are
and the authorities which are
or may be
and
established
may be established
for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
and that I will endeavor to support,
and that I will endeavor to support,
maintain, and defend
maintain, and defend
the Constitution of said state,
the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent with the Constitution
not inconsistent with the Constitution
of the United
of
States,
the United States,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I
Lynn Shue,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and maintain
that I will support and maintain
the Constitution and laws of the United States
the Constitution and the laws of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina,
and the Constitution and the laws of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of my office
of my office
as Cabarrus County Commissioner.
as Cabarrus County Commissioner.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge Wilson. Come on.
Hey, can I ask Steve to come up, Commissioner Morris, Diane, Grace? I could be mistaken, I don't think I am, but I think some people here would like to see a group of 5 county commissioners standing in front of them, so. Cameraman dictates we come in front of the podium. Does that make- like that? Hey, is everybody good? Yeah, you said- Hey, don't go anywhere. You, Grace, Diane, Lynn, you all got to stay up here. We want to give you an opportunity to say something. So individually, I don't know which order you want to go in, but if you'll please come up and welcome your remarks.
Thank you. Well, it's overwhelming to see so many people here this evening and have the welcome that we got from each of you. The one thing I am hoping that 2 years from now, when we see you out like this, you're going to be just as happy. What I'm sure of is that there's no way that everyone's going to agree with every decision, but what I hope that you will trust is that we make the decision that we feel like is the best for the whole county, although it might not always agree with what you think. And so that's something I'm going to have to get used to, because I like to please people. But I don't think that's necessarily possible in this job, that you can please everybody. But the one thing I do want to take an opportunity to is just, if you are with the county, part of the county staff, if you'll just raise your hand. And I would ask you to join me in thanking these people. From what I've experienced today, this is an incredible group of people, and I look forward to working with them as well as the municipalities, the school boards, and everyone, so that we come together, work together for the good of the community, and hopefully that can be done professionally and respectfully. So thank you for being here. Thank you to so many of you that I look at that supported this campaign and helped us get to where we are today. This is you're getting elected as well, so thank you so much.
I say ditto to everything she said, but I was thinking, coming across the parking deck downstairs, how many times I've walked from a car to that elevator over the years, both when the school board was meeting here and then later when I was on the commission previously. I love this community. My family loves this community. It has blessed us beyond anything we could ever have expected. And we want it to be the very best it can be. There are a lot of challenges ahead of this community because of its desirability and its extreme growth. And so we're going to have to really work hard to assure that we continue to grow and to build and to create the finest suburban community in the Charlotte area. I thought it was most unusual during the campaign that no one ever said anything about my age. So I guess I guess that means we are coming of age, because it really doesn't matter. It's where your heart is and where your desire to serve is. So thank you for allowing me to do that all these years, and for allowing me the opportunity to continue for a little while longer. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. I learned a long time ago that when you got women and men speakers, let the women go first, because they can say all that you need to worry about saying. And then that leaves my job easy. But no, I just want you to know I am so honored and I am so humbled that this community and all of you have supported, and me and us, for that matter, goes, because it's not a me or an I, it's an us. And we're all going to work hard together to try to make Cabarrus County better than what it already is. I was born and raised down on Flow Store Road, and that's just where I plan on living all of my life. And so I have a big investment in Cabarrus County, and all of you have an investment in Cabarrus County. And I want to do everything that I can to make that investment better, and the quality of life will be improved. And you know, I tell folks all the time that if you need something and you need me to help you some way, then you need to call me, because if you don't call me, I can't help you. I don't have a crystal ball laying around the house wondering who I can help today. So if there's issues that you need to talk with me about, I do truthfully encourage you to get up with me, and let's try to put this puzzle all together so we can make it better. And once again, without further ado, we're going to get ready to go upstairs and go to work for Cabarrus County. Thank you all once again.
Again, thank you all for being here this evening. We really do appreciate it. It's great to see this many people involved. We are going to go upstairs to the Commissioner's Chamber. It'll take just a little bit for cameras and the lights to get up there. If you have not gotten some food, go ahead and get some, not the commissioners, because we're going to work, as Lynn said. But if you will please, if you want to, please join us upstairs in our chambers, and we'll get ready to start our organizational meeting in just a few moments. Thanks again. Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners for our organizational meeting. We are happy tonight to welcome the Honor Guard from the Cabarrus County Sheriff's Office to present our colors. I'd ask that you all rise for the presentation. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance It is also our privilege tonight to welcome Senior Pastor Andy Langford from Central United Methodist Church in Concord to deliver our invocation. Welcome.
It is an honor to be here on a wonderful night for Cabarrus County. Let us pray. Almighty and holy God, the giver of wisdom and patience and justice and servanthood, we ask your blessings this evening upon our county and those who serve it so well. We give you thanks that you have blessed us in so many ways and ask that you give to Grace and Diane and Lynn, to those who serve again, and those who serve this community patience and wisdom. They all do this because they are servants to one another and to the people who live here. Bless them this night and in the many days and nights to come. In the years to come, we may say this was a blessed day. So watch over all of us this holy day. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Hey, at this time, I would like to turn the meeting over to the county manager.
Good evening. This is the organizational meeting, and this is the time where the board has the opportunity to select a chairman for the ensuing year. So with that, I'll open up the floor for nominations for chairman of the Board of Commissioners.
Mr. Manager, this time I would like to nominate Steve Morris for chairman for the Board of Commissioners.
Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Do I have a motion to close nominations?
I'd make a motion that we close the nominations and that he be elected by acclamation.
Have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to declare Mr. Stephen Morris chairman for the ensuing year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, your official duty, Mr. Morris, is to elect a vice chair.
Thank you very much. I certainly appreciate the confidence that you all have placed in me and pledged to you to do my very best to serve in this capacity over the next year. I think I would be remiss if I did not point out the excellent and honorable way that Chairman Liz Poole has served over the past 3 years. I think that she has probably led us through some of our more challenging times and has done it with an extreme deal of professionalism and grace, and we appreciate that, Liz. Thank you very much. At this time, I would like to open the floor for nominations of Vice Chairman of the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners.
I would like to nominate for Vice Chair of the Commission, Liz Poole.
I'll second that.
Okay, are there any other nominations? If not, I'll accept a motion that Liz Poole be elected Vice Chairman of the Board of Commissioners by acclamation.
I move that we accept Liz Poole as Vice Chair by acclamation.
I'll second that as well.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, you're officially elected. The next item on our agenda is approval of public officials' bond for the sheriff.
Did you want to present that, or do I?
Megan's got that.
You have the bond to read, or you just...
Bear with me, the learning curve is steep.
One page.
Okay. This subject matter is risk management, approval of public official bond for Sheriff Brad Riley. An application for a $25,000 public official bond for Sheriff Riley has been completed and submitted to the county's insurance agent in accordance with North Carolina General Statutes 162.812. And the approval for Sheriff Riley's public official bond is requested. Do I hear a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion to approve the bond for Sheriff Brad Riley.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it, Mr. Chairman.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. And now we will adjourn our organizational meeting. We're going to take a very brief... Yes, we need a motion to adjourn. Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And we are going to take a brief break. We've got a couple official things to take care of, picture taking and so forth, and we will be back as quickly as possible. The meeting is adjourned.
About 10 minutes.
Yeah, don't go.
We'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Cabarrus County Board of Commissioners. We'd like to remind everybody to please turn off your cell phones or other noise-making devices. First item on our agenda tonight is the approval of the work session agenda, which you all have before you. Do I hear a motion to that effect? Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Thank you. The first item is a video from the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners. That was the other thing I'm supposed to do. Supposed to inform the new commissioners that it's important to press your microphone button. Not that the people in the audience can't hear you, but so that the folks on television can. So now I have been duly reminded. So the first item for tonight is a video from the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners, which I assume will be on the screen behind me.
And I'm honored to be your Executive Director of the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners. On behalf of all of our staff here at the association, I would like to extend to you a special hello to your board and a congratulations to our newly elected commissioners. Now, being a county commissioner, we know can be challenging and sometimes a thankless job. But please know that we appreciate all of you who are willing to step up and be a leader in your county and in your state. It's an exciting time here at our association. It's a time of change and transition and new ideas. My hope is to hear from you about your new ideas that will make our association even stronger as we move forward. In this brief video, you will hear about some upcoming opportunities for you to learn more about county government and our association. We're actually in the process of developing our legislative agenda for the upcoming biennium, and it's not too late for you to get involved. I encourage you to attend our Legislative Goals Conference, which will be held in Moore County this January, to learn about the legislative issues and to get involved in our grassroots advocacy efforts. We're very fortunate that our association in North Carolina is one of the strongest county government associations in the entire nation. And our secret is you. Through your active participation, together we are 100 counties strong, and together we can do great things. As always, please call us if we can be of any assistance, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
The association has completed the first 3 stages of its 5-step legislative goals process. The last stage, your Legislative Goals Conference, is January 15th and 16th in Moore County. We have 45 goals still under consideration regarding issues as diverse and critical as mental health, 911 funding, broadband services, Medicaid, school construction funding, and economic development, among many others.
At the conference, county commissioners such as yourself will debate and vote upon those goals remaining after board approval in December. All 100 counties have the opportunity to send one voting delegate to be part of the final decision on NCACC's 2015-16 legislative agenda. Make sure your county is part of the process by registering on our website. We need input from all regions of the state to give us the strongest position possible to advocate for your agenda at the General Assembly.
One of the association's primary responsibilities is to help you understand your roles and responsibilities as county commissioners. There are numerous educational opportunities coming up in the next few months. The first is for new board chairs and vice chairs on January the 14th in Moore County. This day-long session will teach presiding officers the rules of procedure and how to manage a meeting. At the end of the day, all board members are invited to a discussion of general parliamentary procedure. In addition to this training, every 2 years following county government elections, we partner with the School of Government at the University of North Carolina to sponsor the Essentials of County Government Schools. The comprehensive 2-day course serves as an orientation to county government law and practice for new and veteran county commissioners. It is the foundation course for earning credits in the local Elected Leaders Academy. The Essential Schools will be offered in 4 locations throughout the state in January and February. The curriculum includes basic county government law, local taxation and the financing of county government services, handling conflicts of interest, public school financing, and building relationships with other boards and interests. Also included is the 2-hour mandatory ethics training required by state law for every new or returning commissioner within 1 year of election or re-election. Veteran commissioners not enrolled in the essentials classes, as well as municipal elected officials, can attend this advanced seminar for a modest fee. To learn more about these programs, please visit our website at the address on your screen.
I want to make everyone aware of a new service we rolled out in November this year. It's a human resources legal helpline, and it is designed to assist risk pool members with basic time-sensitive employment issues, such as employee terminations, addressing harassment or discrimination allegations, or even requests for reasonable accommodations. Basically, issues that, if handled improperly, could lead to litigation and avoidable HR problems. We've contracted directly with risk pool attorneys that have strong employment law experience in order to provide sound HR legal advice at no initial cost to our membership. If you are a member of the risk management pools, and you do have to be a member to have access, you should have received information from me in November about how to gain access and utilize this service. This is yet another example of our efforts to continually improve our risk management product and services, adding value to an already superior government-based risk coverage and finance program. And in fact, the NCACC risk management pools are the #1 provider of property and liability and workers' compensation coverage for the entire state, with 68 of the 100 counties participating as risk pool members.
And congratulations to Kevin Leonard, who is our new executive director of that organization, I think only about 1 month. We move on now to our regular discussion items, and first up is the Mount Pleasant Middle School Agency Agreement, and I think Dave Burnett is with us to speak to that.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being your first item. The agency agreement is something that has occurred in years past between the Board of Education and the Board of County Commissioners. It has been edited to reflect the latest projects. So tonight, this particular item is the Mount Pleasant Middle School Agency Agreement. And essentially, it does two things. Number one, it assigns the Board of Education as the agent for developing a project. In this case, it's the replacement middle school. On that site, so the Board of Education will be the agent that will cause the project to happen. The Board of Education will be able to secure the permits, the approvals from various government agencies, and again, pursue the development of that project. It also has a portion of the agreement to where the sales tax that's generated from this project will go back into the project. So the construction project will generate a great deal of sales tax. Fortunately, it goes back into that project. And if you have any questions, that's the agreement in a nutshell. There's certainly other parts of it, but let me know if you have any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Burnett? If not, we'll go to the next item, which regarding the new Odell School.
Thank you. And this item is very similar to the agency agreement that we just talked about. This has one added item, and that is the Mount Pleasant Middle School. The Board of County Commissioners already had the title to that property. In this particular case, the Board of Education has the title to that property. So one of the items here is that the title will be transferred from the Board of Education to the Board of County Commissioners. And essentially, the agreement is the same with the names changed.
Any questions for Mr. Burnett? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Our next item is the Salisbury-Rowan Community Action Association, and this is presentation of their fiscal year 15-16 application for funding. And I think Dr. Jean Harvey and Dion Atkins are with us.
Yes,
Welcome.
Good evening. I'm Jean Harvey. This is Dion Atkins. We're presenting to the board the 15-16 application for funding this community service block grant funding. It's actually the third of 3 years, and the amount for this year is $429,639 for both counties, and for Cabarrus County is $207,820,000. We served 126 individuals last year, and for next year, $53,000 will be used for client services. I don't think we're going to go through all that in the interest of time. We do this every year. This is our third year for this grant cycle, and we do outreach. We've been in the community for over 50 years, so this is not new to us. So we just wanted to present the amount and the application to the board.
Great, thank you. I think, if I remember correctly, that this involves no county funding. This is just a part of your requirement of your funding source for you to make a report to us on an annual basis, or when you make the request. Is that right?
That's correct. The origin of the funding is federal pass-through money to the Department of Health and Human Services at the State Office of Economic Opportunity. So we're required by law in the North Carolina Code to come here and make sure we inform the county that those funds are coming through this county.
Great, thank you. Any questions from any of the commissioners? Thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Okay. We have a slight change on our agenda. We're going to add in your additions, we have an item regarding the Sheriff's Department, and so we're going to work that in next to accommodate the Sheriff's schedule. And it looks like the Sheriff may have stepped out for a second, so he'll be right back with us. Does everybody have this?
Yes, that is.
Yeah.
Peggy, what page is the information on?
Sheriff Riley, we're ready for you. Bear with us, we're all learning about our electronic devices tonight.
I'm not sure how you want me to go about this, Mike.
Tell us about your item. Yeah. Why are you guys proposing the radios?
The radios, that's these guys.
Yeah.
A little confusion.
Sorry.
It's all right. Good evening. Radios that we use in public safety, sheriff's office, EMS, emergency management, unfortunately, they don't last forever. And they go through cycles of 6 to 8 years. New technology comes out, and a lot of radios are computer-driven, software-driven. We had in the CIP for 3 years, we haven't yet. The radios are getting ready to hit the end of life. The radios we carry now are no longer manufactured by Motorola. They're manufacturing something else. As soon as parts are gone, we won't be able to even fix our radios, which is probably maybe a year or so down the line. We had in there $672,000 for 3 years in the CIP to try to do 3 years to buy radios. Sergeant Johnson and Scott Hopkins with Motorola were trying to put their heads together. And instead of doing 3 different sets of radios, because from year 1 to year 3, you're probably going to have different radios. You're going to have different technology out there. And they've kind of put their heads together and come up with it's subscriber as a service. And they offer to get us all the radios at one time. And it's in signing the contract that you have. It's it kind of scares you with the terms. It's an 18-year contract, which is a long time. But at the end of every 6 years, instead of us having to go out and spend $2, $3, $4 million to buy new radios, we upgrade the radios and stick with the price. We had the $672,000 for 3 years. We broke that down to a price of $389,000 for 6 years during that term. That's not just the radios. We pay right now almost $55,000 a year for service on our radios. This is added into that. We pay over $7,500 a year for batteries for these radios. This is built into it. So what it does, it stretches it out, but we're able to get all our radios at one time. We have all the service on the radios, any kind of upgrades that need to be done to make the radios work. We're not responsible for it. Motorola is responsible for that through either them or someone they contract with to do the service. We just had this idea, the pricing, we're trying to, hate to throw this on you, especially the new commissioners here, but it's something, try to keep with the pricing. If we wait till after January, the pricing will go up, of course. But this is what we've had, and we thought we'd bring this to you to see if you thought it might be feasible to try to stretch the money out and spend it over a period of time instead of coming up with lump sums of money at the last minute a lot of times, not knowing what's out there radio-wise. Is there anything I missed, Mike?
No, I think again, we apologize for bringing it here at the last minute. They've been working on this for six to 8 months, I think, and then about 2 or 3 months ago, they finally got to the point where they were crafting the contracts, and Mr. Cook and the representatives from Motorola have been reviewing and crafting that contract, because this is the first one that Motorola has done, my understanding is. So what we've, as Chief says, we've been having to do it in 3-year increments at a larger number, but year 1 radios aren't the same as year 3, because we can't buy all the radios at one time, so we've been having to buy a third, and then we've got all the officers running around with different radios and different software. So this is an opportunity that Motorola and our Sheriff's Department worked out to spread the cost out over 6 years instead of 3 years. We get all the radios up front, plus we get maintenance. That's a 6-year time span. What Motorola is requesting is that we commit to 3 6-year terms. However, there are outs in the contract that the Sheriff's Department and Motorola can exercise if they want to. So while we're committing to 18 years, if something catastrophic happens and we're not able to fund them, then there are options to come out of the contract. But we wanted to get this before you tonight, simply because at the end of the year, Motorola's rates go up just simply because it's newer models, and in that year end, that's typically when they adjust their fees. So we want to get it. We know it's a lot right now. If you will agree to allow us to consider working on this and bring it back to you in 2 weeks as a new business item, we can answer your questions over the next 2 weeks if you have any. If you don't, and you're okay with it, then we would be happy for it to go into consent as well. But you do have 2 weeks before you would really need to make a decision, so we'll leave that up to you. But it's Mr. Cook has drilled through that contract quite a bit. I think between Mr. Cook and the folks from Motorola, I think they've seen a lot of each other and heard a lot of each other over the phone, just trying to make that fit and make it advantageous to both the county and Motorola.
Mike, if I could too, just so you'll know, the number of radios we need is 525. And that's 430 for the Sheriff's Office, 75 for EMS, and 20 for emergency management. So you don't realize how many radios are out there until you put these numbers together. So it is a large number of radios. And also within the contract, if we have to expand personnel, need more radios, there's ways to expand that in the contract. At the end of that 6 years, I think they go off a CPI for what your upgrade may be and things like that are explained in there. But like Mike said, we'll be able to answer any questions you have that you may come up with.
Thank you. Do any of the commissioners have questions for Deputy Hunt?
Bernard, I'll go ahead, Liz.
Well, it's not necessarily for Paul, but I don't know if it's for Susan or if it's for Pam. Can you tell me, was this budgeted in this year to start this replacement, and where will the money come from over the 6 years? It's a lease versus a purchase, so does that make a difference in the budget, and do we have the money to cover it? And I just saw it tonight, so I really haven't read it all the way through.
The amount that's necessary for the current fiscal year is a little over $100,000. $194,977, and Ms. Farrington looked up the balance in the account where we would fund these from, and there's $353,000. So the money is available for the first 6 months, and then we would go from there forward to it. It was a CIP item that was eliminated during the budget process.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, I wanted to ask the question, are we under any kind of contract right now?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, just for whatever it's worth, I think that it's very wise that we have everybody on the same page with the radios. When you got scattered this and this one's got that, you know, it makes it difficult, but by getting them all on the same page. And will this take place all at one time and then?
Yes, sir. They've assured us they'll get all the radios in and they'll get them all. Jody's my technical radio guy, but they'll get everything done to the radios to make them street ready, and we'll get them all out at one time and do it all as quickly as we can through that one little period of time.
And then one last question. What happens to all the radios that you're going to collect? Are we going to be able to salvage them?
They will be traded into Motorola. That's part of the credit we get for the price we have, is we'll trade in the radios we do have.
Okay. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions?
I have a question. I'm curious, did I hear you say that this was the first time Motorola has done this? They had this kind of an agreement, they haven't done this before?
This is the first time. They've done it with systems, I believe, but actually with buying the radios, the walkies, and the mobile units to go in the cars, this is kind of a trial for them also.
Okay, and we can opt out of it at any time?
Yes, ma'am. I think Mr. Cook and their attorney has gone through that. There's escape clauses for both sides.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
I'm quite surprised. I didn't realize there were 525 radios in operation.
It's amazing when you count everything together.
Absolutely. When we approve our agenda for the next meeting, we'll have an opportunity to discuss whether you want to place this on consent or on our regular agenda for discussion. Next item is from Planning and Development regarding Elma C. Lomax Incubator Farm, extension of the temporary agreement with Carolina Farm Steward Association.
Good evening. As you're aware, that we had previously approved a contract, a temporary operation agreement for the LLC Lomax Farm with Carolina Farm Stewardship. They have been working on getting everything in order and trying to diversify their funding. I have Aaron Newton here, who will be representing Carolina Farm Stewardship. They are requesting to extend that agreement. That agreement was for September 1st through December 31st. So they are requesting an extension of that, and Aaron's here to answer any questions you may have of him.
Thank you. Does anyone have questions they would like to ask?
So this just keeps going what we currently have in place?
Correct.
To give them more time to, this just keeps going what we have in place in order to give them more time to finalize all the details?
That's correct. I think we could just extend it as the conditions are. We haven't, it was somewhat open in the terms to begin with.
Well, I think we'll have to do another short agreement just to reflect where we are at this point. They're actually asking for a year extension of it, which is essentially under the same terms and conditions.
Any other questions? Thank you. Our next item is the county manager will talk with us about I think we've got down Pam Dubois, about the state salary increase for locally funded positions at Rowan Cabarrus Community College.
As we went through the budget process, we provided funding for both school systems to match the state funding of local positions, and the community college had a delay in getting their information to us, and we now have that information before you, and the total amount of that is $12,324 is their request. And since normal practice is that we fund all the local positions, which the state gives the raises to, the request for those 9.5 positions from the county is $12,324 to give them the raise along with the benefit changes that encompass the $1,000 raise per employee.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Ms. Dubois?
I'd just be curious, do you know what those positions are, just a range of what those local ones are?
I do not have a list of what those positions are. I don't know if Mr. Morris, being on their board, would be familiar.
I could not recite them.
Maybe they're maintenance positions, because there's the half position serves between both Rowan County and Cabarrus County.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
I think this is according to standard practice that we have done in the past. Are there any other questions? If not, we'll move to the next item, which is Active Living in Parks 2015 fees and charges, and we have Londa Strong with us to talk about that.
This is something that we do every year, not in cooperation with the budget. We used to for years, and it always made it very cumbersome because most of our programs and things would be in full swing July 1 when fees changed, so it made it a little inconsistent. So several years ago, we switched to January 1 for our fees, since the majority of the things started up in the spring, and that way everyone was paying the same thing for the same facility or the class or whatever it might be. So what you have listed is the fee and charge policy, or a copy of the fee and charge policy itself. That tells why we charge, what it's based on, etc. And then we have the fee and charges themselves. And there's a highlight of changes. Most everything is a change, is to clear something up, change the name from North Cabarrus Park to Vietnam Veterans Park, to make things a little bit more clear, or interpret the ball field tournament policy is probably the one that has the most changes on it, and it's just to clarify. No changes. There are a couple of increases in fees, or proposed increases in fees, and that was the one on shelters, and it went up like $10, I believe, and the purpose of that went up $5 for a half-day rental and $10 for a full rental, and the purpose of that was to make all of the shelters that house that same number of people the same price. They were different price at different parks, so that was just making it more consistent. If those shelters hold 25 people, and they were charging $5 less than the other shelters. So other things were name changes, disc golf tournament fees. We didn't have that before, but we now have a disc golf course at Franklin Park that has the 18 holes, so that we added those fees in. But there's nothing earth-shattering, nothing that we're trying to go up on, and everything is highlighted in red for you that was on there, so you can see that there was very little change other than the softball tournament, and that was just purely clarification. I know there's a lot there, and I feel sure you've read every word of it already and know what it is, so I'll be glad to try to answer any questions that you may have.
Questions for Ms. Strong?
I just want to know if that is approved by your board.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. Yes, we took it to the board prior to here.
I have a question about the fireworks.
Yes.
Those fireworks, did you have fireworks and had problems, or you just?
No, fireworks has been in that policy for 30 years. And our ordinance states that fireworks are not allowed at the parks, so we were just trying to make it consistent. So we finally caught, fireworks are in there. Let's take that out. There have been fireworks at Franklin Park. We used to have them on a pretty regular basis.
Any other questions? Thank you. Our next item is a resolution relating to refinancing of prior certificates of participation of schools in public improvement.
Good evening. The county's underwriters, Piper Jaffray and Company, has advised and given appropriate market conditions, they want to be able to assist us in refunding some of our old certificates of participation. This was specifically 2007, 8A, 8C, and 2009. And there will be long-term savings on our debt service payments, the interest portion of that. And we will not be doing this refunding if it's not advantageous to the county to save money. In the past, we've saved anywhere from 3 to 5% on our interest payments, so that's what we're looking to do. Tonight, the resolution is for all of our COPs, the 4 issues that I've mentioned, to go ahead and get approval for all 4 of those, but we would not do all 4 unless the market conditions are favorable. We could do one of them, a portion of each of them. It's just how the underwriters are constantly looking at the conditions and advising us on when to refund the issues. The resolution that is before you tonight, we will pass on, will be voted on December 15th, but it's up to $211 million. It's actually $211,615,000. That's the principal amount that is outstanding for those issues currently. Any questions?
Chairman, I do, Susie. How long has it been since we did a restructure on our financing?
We've actually 2 years ago we restructured our GO bonds, and that was in May of 2013. And so we've realized some savings there. And before that, we had some older COPS issues that we did. I believe that was 2011.
So some that we did 2 years ago, we're going to be restructuring again this time. Is that what you're
Those were
saying?
general obligation bonds.
Okay, GOs. Okay.
GO bonds. These are all COPS issues this time. So
And-
we've refinanced all the ones we could for the GO bonds.
Right.
So-
Are the fees associated with these changes?
We do have fees. We will most likely have to do official statements, so there'll be some fees there. And of course, the bond attorney and our underwriters, they have fees that will be taken out of our proceeds.
So my first question is that when we look at the agenda item, it says a motion to suspend the rules. So you wanted us to act on this tonight to go ahead and investigate?
Well, the actual hearing will be in January. The January meeting.
Okay, I just see where it says under requested action, it says motion to suspend rules. So I didn't know if you were expecting a motion tonight for us to do anything.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so what you want from us in December, in our next meeting, is approval to research this and find out what the savings would be. We won't do it unless there are substantial savings. And then we would have a public hearing in January to give anybody the opportunity to speak out before we would have the information to be able to actually approve the refinancing. That's correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you. Our next item is a request to close a portion of North Drive, and Jonathan Marshall's going to talk with us about that.
Thank you. This is an item that was initiated by Cabarrus County Schools and is necessary to construct the preferred alternative for the Mount Pleasant Middle School replacement. North Drive is located, if you're familiar with the middle school, North Drive is located next to the middle school. The replacement middle school is planned to cover that right away, so it would need to be closed. And we do share jurisdiction in this area with the town of Mount Pleasant. It is a 3-part process. The statute for abandoning or closing a public right-of-way requires that the Board of Commissioners pass a resolution declaring your intent to close that right-of-way. In this case, it would go to the Board of Transportation after that to also consider abandonment of the maintenance of that right-of-way. And then it would come back to the County Commissioners for you to hold a public hearing, at which point we would have posted the property, advertised it for 3 consecutive weeks, and also sent by registered mail to each property owner who uses that road for access notice that you are considering closing it. That resolution, although it says it's your intent to close the road, we know that you at this point are just considering that. So I have reworded that so that it declares it is your intent to consider that. I've sent that to DOT for their approval, and they have approved the resolution wording, and that would be included in your agenda should you choose to put this on your regular agenda. There was actually a 4th part to this process. The first meeting, actually, Mr. Burnett had to leave to go to the school board meeting, but he convened a public meeting. We noticed all the property owners on North Drive for that public meeting, It was held at the school's offices and was a drop-in for folks to come in and see the plans for the middle school, to look at why North Drive needed to be closed and look at the plans for that. Probably the biggest issue I heard was one of emergency response, because that would be, at this point, if it's closed, North Drive, the access would only be from Highway 49. But where it currently goes towards Main Street or Mount Pleasant Road North is where the parking lots for the middle school will be located. There'll be gates there with a fire safety, emergency safety Knox box on them, so those gates could be open to allow emergency access to that end of North Drive, both for ingress or egress. So it does allow for that traffic to move through the parking lot if necessary. The alternative would be to relocate North Drive so that you'd have a public road going through the parking lot, or possibly to look at another alternative to locate that middle school on the property that could result in changing the layout of some of the ball fields. So those are the items that they considered. And a number of people there were asking questions about those alternatives and looking at the plan itself.
The town of Mount Pleasant is going through this process concurrently with you as well, because the city limits line runs right down the middle of the road.
So when I say this is shared jurisdiction, a 3 or 4 part process, I should have added it's also being repeated by the town of Mount Pleasant and their Board of Commissioners. In fact, I believe they discussed it earlier tonight. And they were, that I'm aware of, at least 3 of their commissioners at that public meeting, and were able to interact with some of the residents who were there.
Thank you. Any additional questions for Jonathan? Thank you. Next item on our agenda is discussion of the ACT Work-Ready Communities, and Commissioner Poole's going to talk with us about that.
Thank you. It's kind of like, this is one of those secrets in North Carolina. North Carolina's kind of a little bit later than some of the states of moving in this direction. Tennessee very much uses this, and a number of other states. But North Carolina is now, the state of North Carolina is now a work-ready community. ACT is the entity that does, you'll be familiar with SAT exams, PSAT, and what this one deals with is called Work Keys. Work Keys is a career-ready assessment that's given. There are a number of different parts to it. The ones that are most talked about are applied mathematics, reading for information, and locating information. The legislature for the General Assembly for North Carolina has felt that this was an important way to go to help businesses in North Carolina to understand that when someone applies for a job, they're ready for the job. They have skills that they've learned in high school, in community college, in four-year college, and they can come to the employer and they can say, I know something. You know, it's a credential that's very much recognized all around the country. It's not as very well known in North Carolina, though, because, like I said, we're a little bit late getting to it. Last year, about 35,000 North Carolina high school seniors were given the assessment. This year in Cabarrus County, upwards of 800 seniors will be given the assessment. It's paid for by the General Assembly. So it's free for the students that qualify. The idea behind this work-ready community is we're a work-ready state, and if you go to the website, you can get a lot more information. The state would like for communities to become work-ready communities. And so I would like to have our board to approve us moving forward through a process for that to be the case, for Cabarrus County to be a work-ready community. There are a number of people who have to work together in the committee. First and foremost, government has to be involved, and I would ask that you allow me to be the representative in the initiative. We would also need someone from the community college level, from K-12 education, economic development. Chamber of Commerce is very much involved, North Carolina Chamber of Commerce and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and other businesses that would come to the table and would look at the initiative and decide what does that look like in Cabarrus County. Like I said, it is a process. There's an application that you go through, and you have a lot of information in your agenda that I hope you take time to read. I think it would be very important for Cabarrus County to be able to do this. Examples of businesses two businesses that use it, Alevo, our brand-new business now at Victory Industrial Park. The day after they were having their grand opening, they were having a fellow, Val, from Central Carolina Workforce Development Board, who's certified to do this, to come in, and they look at the processes that an employer goes through, and they say, okay, well, based on what you're doing, you should be at a certain level in your math skills, or a certain level in your reading skills, or a certain level in located information skills. Located information, if you think about, I'm not a pilot, but if you think about, you've seen pictures of a jet and all the dials and everything. I would like for a pilot to be able to know which dial to find exactly when he needs it, and not to sit there and have to pull a manual out to figure out what it is. So that's the type of skills that are being taught and are being recognized. So Alevo will be recognizing it as part of their hiring process. S&D Coffee has a couple of their positions, not all, that use this as an example. So as I try to explain it to high school students, if you apply for a job and you have a gold certificate, which is really good, and someone else applies for a job and they have no certificate because they've never taken the test, if I'm an employer, I can look at this one and I'm going to move you from this big stack of resumes over to this small stack. And I'm probably going to look at you a little bit closer. It doesn't mean I'm going to hire you, but it gives me a basis to know that you have done a lot of work and that you're ready to come to work. And I think Cabarrus County is a community that is ready to get to work. We've had a lot of businesses coming in lately. We've seen a lot of great change, and I just think this would be a great partnership for us. And it would be I think there's 9 counties so far that have participated. So my request of the other commissioners is to allow us to at least investigate this, to gather a committee that would work on this initiative. There is an application, like I said, and see if it looks like something that we really would want to go forward with. And I can answer some questions. I'm not an expert on it, but I can try to answer some questions if you have any.
Thank you. Does anyone have additional questions for Commissioner Poole?
I don't necessarily have a question, but I do have a comment, and I agree with what you said, Liz, about Alevo. That was one of the key topics that they wanted to talk about, was workforce development. And as we look to the future for economic development in Cabarrus County, then potential businesses that do come here, they're going to want to know, not only for the public education for their children, but also for the community colleges, what do you have available that's going to be specific for us? And I talked with Dr. Spalding a little bit about some of the things that we got going on now with some of the companies that, say, for example, a German company moves here and they got a specific piece of equipment and nobody around here knows how to work on it. Well, they'll ship that piece of equipment here to our program, and we'll recruit people that will learn how to do all about that particular piece of equipment, so they're ready to go to work for whenever they establish their business here and have a workforce-ready community. And I think it speaks very highly of what we could do to go along with economic development, which is something we're going to be pursuing heavily.
Any other questions or comments?
I was just going to say, and that's the whole point. If a business comes here, they want to know that they have employees who can do the work. If you go to a community college, they will require that you take this test. If you are a senior in high school and you qualify, there are parameters for it, then the General Assembly requires that you take these assessments. You shouldn't call it a test, they're assessments. They're not pass-fail. When we've had downsizing and layoffs in the community, the R-Cube Center, which you probably know about with Rowan Cabarrus, one of the things that they did is take the employees and administer these assessments. And they were able to see, do you need help in math? Let's go and get the math classes. Do you need help in reading for understanding? Let's go and get those classes. So it's a very good tool that the community college uses, the high schools use, businesses are using, and I just think it would be very important for us to get on board with it. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Certainly sounds like a worthwhile program, and that will come up at our December 15th meeting. Next item on the agenda are commissioner appointments for 2015. For the benefit of our audience, I think a lot of folks think that county commissioners come and meet twice a month, and that's it. And so that is not the case at all. Each of the commissioners are appointed to various committees, to liaisons, to other governmental agencies in the county. So we have a very long list of those. And County Manager Downs, did you have some comments to make?
No, just to echo what you said, Mr. Chairman, is that you've had the discussions, I think, over the last couple of weeks. You've all seen what your preliminary assignments were going to be, and just want to make sure that you're still good with those assignments, and then we can make that official at your next meeting.
Great. Thank you.
Could I just ask, could we add ACT work-ready communities to the list? And for our approval, if everybody's okay with it, or we can add it in 2 weeks. And again, I'd like to be the one appointed to that. And if one of you'd like to be an alternate, that'd be great, because the more people that know about it, the better we are.
Would anybody like to volunteer to be an alternate to that? Commissioner Minot? Everybody good with that? Great, thank you. Next item on our agenda is designation of voting delegate for the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners Legislative Goals Conference. I think we have all heard a little bit about that in the video at the beginning of our meeting. They do that every 2 years. I think I went as the representative 2 years ago. It's a very worthwhile process that we need to be involved in. I think that Commissioner Honeycutt has signed up to attend that, as have I, and there's still time for others to join us if you would like. So we would need to designate one person. Did you have something else on that, Mike?
Nope, that's it. Again, as you saw in the video, it's a biennial process, and this is the culmination of that process of bringing together 100 representatives throughout the county to look at what the association and their subcommittees, staff and subcommittees have come up with and drilled down and narrowed those numbers down. And then at the end of the conference, you will have a set of goals that will set the strategic plan or the planning process for staff to advocate for the 100 counties throughout the state. And so you need to make sure that you're involved, and we will try to keep you aware. As Chairman Morris said, we need one delegate from the county, but it is that, and that does not mean that everybody can go. The process is transparent, it's open, you can participate in all the discussions, however, each county only gets one vote, official vote. So.
Right. I think that is included on our consent agenda for the regular meeting, but we would need to attach a name to that.
I'd like to say if both of you were planning to go, Steve, if you'd be the delegate, and Diane, if you'd be the alternate, and then I can't go. I know I can't go for those, so, and I don't know if y'all can go, that'd be great. If you already are registered, that makes it kind of easy.
Right. Do we have consensus on that I would be the voting delegate, Commissioner Honeycutt would be the alternate? Great, thank you. Next item is resolution establishing Board of Commissioners 2015 meeting schedule. That's on page 261. County Manager Downs, did you have comments on that?
Get to that, make sure there. Yeah, Megan's worked very hard to consult with you, but also she's set up the schedule for all of your work sessions, regular meetings, as well as any other meetings that we are aware of, such as your budget workshops, this legislative goals session. So if you would take a look at that, if you haven't already, just, we know that there are going to be some times throughout the year that there may be an emergency needed to call a meeting. But this should set the general schedule for you so that you're aware, and then also the public is aware that they know when you are going to be meeting, so that they have an opportunity to come and listen or participate.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments on that item? And that full list is included in our agenda.
The only comment I would make is to, I think April, you had mentioned it last year about moving that one. Is that Easter? It's the April 1 Easter. So we were going to move it off of that Monday because a lot of people travel on Easter Monday. So just to comment, there are 3 different Tuesdays, well, 4 Tuesdays. So for those that, like to come to the meeting, you might want to make special notes of those changes from the first and third Monday.
Right, I think one is Easter, one is Labor Day, and then, of course, the December 1st.
Martin Luther King Day as well.
Right. Any other comments? Okay. Next item on our agenda is discussion of our fiscal year general fund budget. A few comments that I would like to make before we enter into that discussion is basically to sort of brief everybody on the process that we've been involved in over the past several months. Our 3 commissioners that were sworn in tonight, of course, were won the primary in May, came up for election in November, at which time they were officially elected. During that interim period, we have tried to make good use of that time since they were running unopposed in November, and so we have been able to have about 22 or 23 meetings with various elected bodies in Cabarrus County. We have met with each and every one of the elected municipal officials. We have met with both of the school boards as much as we could, since we had a school board member that was being installed tonight. But the intent of those meetings, and as much as possible, we've all done that. Commissioner Poole's work schedule has prevented her from being at some of them, but the spirit of those meetings was basically to talk with those other elected officials and hear what they had to say about what the county was doing. And also to make sure that they knew who we were, they were familiar with us, they felt comfortable calling us, talking with us about issues and concerns, and vice versa, that we in turn felt comfortable communicating with them. We talked about a desire to discuss any efficiencies that we might realize by working together. We also put out the suggestion if there were is there anything that we're doing that creates problems for you? We'd like to know about that, and vice versa as well. So as a result of that, we have discussed a number of our budget issues that currently exist, and gotten a lot of input and feedback on those, and had an opportunity to discuss a lot of those. We have also called for a Cabarrus Summit, which will occur on January the 29th, which will be a meeting of all of the elected officials from all the municipalities in Cabarrus County, along with all of the commissioners. We plan to meet out at the arena, and we're going to take advantage of that time, which is the day before this board's annual retreat, to get input and feedback from our municipalities. So we are very excited about that. I think they are excited about it. We would like to create an environment of trust and respect. We feel like that when Cabarrus County is competing with other counties for development and projects, we like the idea that we think folks are going to look at us and say those folks really work as a team, and they've got their act together. So that's just we'll certainly have more information coming out about that summit. Of course, since we'll have so many elected officials together at one time, it will be a public meeting, but it's primarily to give us an opportunity for all of us to know one another and talk about ways that we can cooperate and work together. The item on our agenda regarding our general fund budget is a request from staff for feedback and direction as to what this new board desires them to do on our behalf. If you have any comments, County Manager, you'd like to add to that, feel free.
I think you covered it very well. Again, we've had many discussions. I've had many discussions with the entire board individually as well. So I know you have some priorities individually. So what myself and the staff would like to know is what are your, at this time, what are your priorities collectively, and what would you like for us to start to work on, if there's more information, to bring back to you as soon as possible, so that if there's something that we can put in motion quickly, we will do so.
Great, thank you. So Commissioners, I'll open up the floor for discussion on this item.
Steve, can I start?
Certainly.
If you don't mind. I guess it was 5 years ago when the Great Recession started. I'm not certain what anybody else wants to talk about, but I have one item. I'll say that. We cut positions. It was the right thing to do at the time. We didn't know what was going to happen. And, but it was also sad and painful at the same time. I had said a year and a half ago, I guess, that one of the things that I had hoped that we would be able to do this year was to open our libraries back up. Instead, we cut the hours, and we still have people working 10-hour days. I am a huge proponent of our public library system, and one of the things that I would like to hear from the county manager and our staff, is there any way that we can at least get open 5 days a week during this year, fiscal year, and work towards next fiscal year, starting July the 1st, being open 6 days a week at all of our libraries. I would leave it up to your discretion to let us know, should those be part-time positions, should those be full-time positions, and we have a new library director. I'm greatly interested in her thoughts on that. That's one of those decisions, like I said, 5 years ago, that I hated making, but I did feel like it was the right thing to do. And it is long past time for us to get our libraries open for the community. That is a huge community resource. So that's an item that I would like, Mike, to have you guys give us some information on. Thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I would like she has referred to something that I think the community spoke quite prominently about, the libraries, and we heard a lot about the libraries, and I certainly concur with what she has to say. Another item that I think created some concern in the community was the loss of the funding for economic development. And I would like for the county to come back to us with the specifics about what it would take for us to fund that fully for the rest of this fiscal year, and what that would do for what the impact would be on the budget. The other one that I was involved in the previous time I was on the commission was the preliminary idea of Wallace Park, and I was able to go down there at that very time and ride on that beautiful piece of property, and thought at the time, my goodness, what a wonderful opportunity for us to have a really sensational park in a part of the county that doesn't have one. And now I don't know the status exactly of that grant that we had, whether we can get that restored or not, but that's another area that I'd like to have some information on.
Thank you. Other comments, Commissioner?
Mr. Chairman, I wanted to comment also. I concur with Ms. Poole and also Ms. Minot, the library and economic development. I'm going to be a big fan of economic development, because the way that I see this, I don't know if everybody sees it the same way that I do, but when you need to increase revenues, we don't need to increase revenues on the backs of the taxpayer. I think that if we can build our economy through business development, that type thing, it's going to increase our net taxable asset base, which is going to therefore give us more revenue that we need to keep things going. So you're going to see over my term anyway, that I'm going to be a strong proponent of economic development. So I do want to see us look at that. And I also want us to look at, Manager Downs, if you can, because I'm thinking that we probably, and I might have seen a note somewhere about this already, but we might want to look at those policies and procedures again for our economic development incentives and those type things. Look at that, and it might need to be revamped a little bit to bring it up to what other states and what other counties are doing to help bring businesses here, and that kind of thing. And another thing that I wanted to mention too is, the revaluation is going to be coming up pretty soon, and I feel like that we need to make sure that we have staff readily available to get what needs to be done there in a timely fashion. So I'd like to ask Manager Downs, if you will, to look into what it's going to cost us to make sure that we have sufficient staff for the revaluation so that it'll come out on time and everything will just run smooth like it's supposed to. And I think that we might be short-staffed a little bit right now, and I need to look at what it's going to take to get us where we ought to be. And that's all that I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Honeycutt.
Well, I would agree with all of those comments on the short-term deal. On the long-term, I would be curious to hear, I had a lot of questions on the June motion, the cuts and a lot of the things that were done. So from a short-term perspective on those, but on a long-term, how the others are faring financially as far as, are they costing money? Are they saving money? What might need to be reinstated or looked at again with the proper questions and information to make that decision?
Thank you. One item that I would like for you to bring some information back is what steps can we take to reinstate our employee health and wellness initiatives. It is my understanding that our insurance claims have increased since the closing of our health clinic that we were using to try to keep control on our insurance cost. As well as our wellness manager and the programs that were being presented to try to avoid some of the health issues and insurance costs that we have. Also, I think that we had some positions at the construction and demolition landfill that there was a request to reclassify simply from an efficiency standpoint, if I understand correctly. But if you could bring back information on that, how we could accomplish that, and if there are any costs, and it's my understanding that there is no cost involved in that, but if you would verify that. I certainly agree with maintaining our revaluation schedule and our restoring our library hours that have been reduced. Are there any other?
I have
Yes,
one other
ma'am.
I was thinking while you were talking, or reflecting on what you said, because we're going to meet with the municipalities. I know I've received, I don't know if the rest of you have, I've received questioning, I know, Mike, about 911 centers, and I think I don't know how much of this process this will actually fit into, but at least when we get and talk to the municipalities, what are things that we all do that we could jointly do and save everybody a lot of headache and money and effort? I understand there's reasons to duplicate some things, but I think there's probably some things that we could do collectively. And I don't know if that is a manager conversation that comes back to elected bodies, or if that is when we meet, like you said, we meet with the mayors and the councilmen, is that a conversation that we would all want to have and see what would be opportunities? And I don't know that I am qualified to, the 911 center, I know that one because I've had questions on it, which I've relayed to you. But there may be some other things like that there are obvious things that the county does and there are obvious things that municipalities do, but there's some things that we both do. And what savings could we all have? Because frankly, when it comes down to it, if you live in the city of Concord, you live in Cabarrus County. If you live in Kannapolis, at least part of it, you live in Cabarrus County. If you live in Mount Pleasant, Midland, Harrisburg, you're still a resident of Cabarrus County, so we all should be working together. So I think that's extremely vague and probably hard for you to completely accomplish, but if you could come up with some suggestions that maybe elected to elected needs to have conversations, and see if we could move some of that along. I think everybody would benefit, so thank you.
I think you make an extremely valid point. I had the unfortunate experience of calling 911 a couple months ago about a break-in at my home, and decided it was not a good idea to stay inside the house and call when I wasn't sure if the burglars were still there or not. So I went into the yard and called on cell phones, which a lot of folks, that's all they have nowadays. And they told me I called, that they would have to put me on hold and transfer me to the other 911 center, which probably only took seconds, but in that situation, it seemed like hours to me. So I agree, that's certainly something we can talk about. Did anybody else have anything? Commissioner Shue?
Mr. Chairman, I do have additional comment since you brought up the Health and Wellness Clinic. And we're talking about efficiencies when we talk to the other municipalities and the elected officials, how we can put our heads together and how we can be more efficient. I think that the Health and Wellness Center that we had was very productive and very probably profitable when you look at the overall picture. But some of the things that we didn't do that I think that we can do now is, say, for example, with me being on the school board for all those years, you know, we do a lot of drug screening for new employees and that kind of thing. And, of course, the county does that, too. I don't know who the county uses right now, but I know the schools used a particular company, and it might be that we could combine both the school districts along with the county, you know, doing the the drug screening through the Health and Wellness Clinic to save everybody money. And so I'm hoping that we can, whenever you bring that to us, you know, look and see what Cabarrus County schools and Kannapolis City schools are, what kind of money they're spending annually on drug screenings, and see if that can somehow be incorporated with the wellness and the health clinic, if we can somehow look at those figures. And I think it would be beneficial for everybody.
Thank you. Any other items? I'm sure we'll have many more discussions along this line. Next, we have the approval of our regular meeting agenda, which you all have in front of you. It's on page 265. Has the Sheriff's Department item already been added on that? Yeah, so we need to decide if we want to talk about the contract. It is.
Currently it's on consent, number 13 on consent.
Yeah, number 13 on consent. So we have the option of pulling that off to discuss it a little bit more if you feel you have questions, or we can leave it on consent agenda.
I think I'd like to put it under new business, just to
Okay.
make sure. I haven't had a chance to read the document, and it's quite lengthy. So just in case we have questions, if not, if there are any questions, we can always move it back on consent when we approve the agenda in 2 weeks. And I would make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented, moving item number 13 under consent to item number G2 under new business.
I'll second the motion.
County Manager.
Yeah, the motion. Yeah, I just wanted, there is one on there that you did not discuss tonight that we typically put straight onto the consent agenda. That is the contractual incentive payments with SMG, the management company at the arena. That is purely a formula that is plugged in at an annual basis at the end of the year, and contractually, we're obligated to pay it.
Right. So, okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the regular meeting agenda with one change, which is moving consent item 13 to G2 and new business. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes, and we do have need of a closed session?
Yes, sir.
Tonight. So I would need a motion that we go into closed session to discuss the negotiation or sale of real property as authorized by NCGS 143-318.11A5.
So moved.
Need Jonathan.
Yes, I'm
in-
sorry, we
yeah.
need to invite Jonathan Marshall.
Right, and to invite Jonathan Marshall to go. I have a motion and a
Second.
second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. We'll now adjourn to closed session. Thank you all for joining us. It has been a very exciting night for Cabarrus County.